welcome back to the Citizen channel. We're all staying safe and well, and our World Cup update for Wednesday the 23rd of November 2022. Day 4 as match day 1 continues. Yes, World Cup Qatar 22 with a sky blue tinge if we can, although a few other guys took the lead today that weren't City. City players were about, but obviously a lot involved other people. So we'll have a look at what's happened and what will be happening tomorrow, Thursday as well. So please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. It's normally everything City, of course. This is just a little bit different. City past, present, forever, loads of history stuff, loads of stuff obviously covering this for our City boys, and they're all still involved. As it's only day 1. They have to be, don't they? Unless they play for Costa Rica, then they might be in trouble, but they don't. So please join me, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Great to have you on board, and please spread the word. And to make an old City fan very, very happy, just press that little button there, that little like button. It'd be great. Right, let's get on to it. There's a lot to get through today. A lot of goals, a lot of excitement. Another shock, of course. Yeah, so on to Tuesday's later kickoff. Not so much a shock in this, was it? France against Australia. Well, yeah, I suppose it was a shock, wasn't it? Up to about up to a little bit. Anyway, it didn't end up as a shock, of course. France 4, Australia 1 at the Al Janoub Stadium. Company was one of the pundits. That was nice to see. At least a bit of sky blue there. And of course, tentative links with Australia. Mr. Moy, wasn't there? Although I don't think he got much love for us anymore, has he? That's for sure. Australia, of course, took a shock lead after just 9 minutes. But it wasn't going to last, was it? By 27 minutes, it was 1-1 with France beginning to dominate, and no surprise on 32 minutes that they went 2-1 up. Further pressure, though, didn't add anything, and in injury time, Australia came so close to an equaliser hitting the post. So there's still life in the old Kangaroos yet, wasn't there? Very little from Australia's attacking force in the second half, though, as they tried to contain France until midway through when Mbappe added the third. Yeah, I think we'll hear a lot about him in this World Cup, won't we? And as Australia grew weary by 71 minutes, it was 4-1. This time Mbappe crossing for Giroud. Yeah, I thought he'd retired, who headed his second. France, far too good for Australia. Right, a look at day 4 now. That was the end of day 3 as we look at match day 1, which continues Wednesday the 23rd of November. We've got a 10 a.m. kickoff. Not overly exciting. Morocco 0, Croatia 0 in Group F at the Al Bayt Stadium, Al Khor. Chances at a premium in this one. The final ball not always great. Croatia had a couple of half chances nearing half time, but it was certainly all to play for in the second. Sadly, the second half didn't offer very much more. We had our third 0-0 in the last 4 games, but that was to change. So it looked a bit depressing at the time. But on to Group E, the 1 p.m. kickoff UK time. Germany 1. Yes, Japan 2. Cracking, brilliant. Well, not really, because I was feeling a bit sorry for old Gundo. Of course, he featured in this, and although he wasn't on the pitch when disaster struck, so that says a lot, doesn't it? This was in the Khalifa International Stadium at Doha. Well, in a quietish stadium, which it was. I mean, where's a vuvuzela when you need one? When they did sing, it was the same bloody thing time and time again. So that wasn't great. It was a Japanese cheerleader. Was there any German fans there? I think they've all boycotted it, haven't they? By the looks of it. Gundo was caught napping though as he lost the ball in 7 minutes, so he didn't have to get off to the greatest start. He did improve though, don't worry. And though Japan went on to actually score, the guy had roamed offside, even though he should have timed his run a little bit better. So a bit of a let-off for Gundogan and Germany at that stage. But Gundogan did find himself involved quite a lot. A couple of shots, not his greatest. Couldn't get through the massive bodies, and he didn't worry the keeper too much. But some general okay play from Gundogan. And then, obviously, on 31 minutes, a clumsy challenge by the keeper. And who comes up to take the penalty? I wasn't overly confident. Gundogan came up to take the penalty and makes it 1-0, although it was not the greatest penalty, just that the keeper chose to dive the wrong way. If he chose to dive the right way, he would have saved it. It certainly was more to the middle than in the corner, that's for sure. So 1-0 at half-time. And, yeah, you think, well, Germany got to win this. They're going to dominate it. And just the finishing really letting Germany down. I was quite impressed. And Japan, apart from 1 or 2 breakaways, has not been as good as I thought they might be. But that name, Ricky Villa, reared its ugly head from the commentator early in the second half. We'll have less of that, please. We don't want to listen to things like that. Gundogan heavily involved hit the post on 59 minutes as Japan struggled to get a foothold. And he was subbed, yes, Gundo was subbed on 67 minutes, although I don't think it was because he was playing badly particularly. I'm sure he'll start the next game. But that's where it all started to fall apart. Although the Japanese keeper kept it to 1-0 with some very good saves. Neuer himself had 1 or 2 to make as well. And then obviously the Japanese broke again and were level at 1-1 with all 3 of their recent subs involved that they brought on. And amazingly, very soon after, it's 2-1 on 83 minutes to Japan with, with 7 minutes plus God knows what injury time to play. But both goals by players for Japan who play in the Bundesliga. So they say know your enemy, don't they? So that was good. No Gundogan, no party for this because the Germans couldn't get back into it no matter how much they huffed and puffed. And they should have put this one well to bed by half time, in fairness, before the Japanese sun rose. See what I did there? But there you go. Just not good enough, Germany, I'm afraid. And on to the Group E game against the last one that we're going to look at today because of obviously the time constraints. 4 p.m. kickoff. Spain 7, Costa Rica 0. Probably the most one-sided game we've seen. Of course, at the Alfamama Stadium, Alfamama. Of course, old Rodri playing at the centre half. I think he might have done it for us. I can't remember. I think he's done it for a few minutes for Spain, and of course Laporte was playing as well. It was good to see them. Although we didn't get to see much of them because all the action was mainly in the other half, unfortunately. So we got Torres up front, so it's good to see him, and he quite impressed actually. I was a bit sad. I was hoping he'd flop miserably. Spain started well, a 1-0 up in 11 minutes through Olmo. Is it Olmo? Olmo, how you pronounce that? And added another on 20 minutes with Asensio scoring, thoroughly deserved lead at that stage. And on the half hour, Alba was brought down, and who stepped up to take the penalty. We lost a good penalty taker, didn't we? Torres, who put it straight into the corner to make it 3-0. All too comfortable for the Spanish in that first half. And the second half was going to get even worse for the poor old Costa Ricans. It was 4 after 54 minutes, as Torres appeared to lose it. He appeared to stumble over it, and then he won it back and scored again. So that was his second goal. And on 57 minutes, the manager decided to take him off. I have no doubt he would have got a hat-trick today. He'd been left on, but he was taken off. 75 minutes, a 10-year-old, well, he looked like a 10-year-old Spanish guy called Gavi. Their number 9 made it 5-0. Sola made it 6 in the 90th minute. I was begging that they just forget this injury time. Don't have any, but sadly the 8-minute board went up. So they had a bit longer to suffer, and it gave Spain another chance to score with Morata, who made it 7 on 92 minutes. Costa Rica battered. Rodri and Laporte hardly really tested. And to come later, you'll be obviously watching this the same evening, but a bit late for me to include it tonight, is of course KDB for Belgium against Canada. That's 7 p.m. kickoff in Group F at the Al Rayyan Stadium. Al Rayyan, that's on the BBC if you're watching it. If you're watching that, or you're watching it as you're doing this or whatever. And what's on tomorrow? What's going to happen on Thursday, the 24th of November? Well, we get to see our last batch of teams, so everyone would have played after this game, so that's good. Group G, we've got Switzerland, 151 chances against Cameroon, 651 chances for an early 10 a.m. kickoff, and I'm hoping to get back and rush home from work to watch older Kanji, hopefully starting for Switzerland. This is at the Al Janoub Stadium, formerly known as Al Wakra Sports Club, Al Wakra. This is on ITV and STV. Switzerland, well, as well as a Kanji, of course, they've got someone called Xhaka, haven't they, from Arsenal. Again, the Arsenal player seems to be doing okay, so he's set to lead the side as captain in Qatar, as far as I know. We'll soon see tomorrow. The Swiss defence has done pretty well recently with the Kanji in it, especially a very capable keeper behind as well in Sommer, so that's okay. Although inconsistency is definitely a problem for Switzerland. As far as Cameroon, they look a little out of the depth, especially up top. We'll know a little bit more after this game, but I don't think we're going to be seeing anything special from Cameroon. Hey, but remember Japan and Germany, we might be due another shock. Who knows? Group H, Uruguay 40-1 out. Well, not outsiders, are probably one of the favourites at 40-1. South Korea 550-1. This is on the BBC. This is at the wonderfully named Education City Stadium in Al Rayyan. Uruguay, of course, a plethora of well-known players. Got Edison Cavani and Luis Suarez attempt to wring out the last vestiges of their sort of muscles in the legs. They're getting on a bit now, aren't they, with their little individual brilliances. We've got a new breed, of course, a certain Darwin Nunez, who I don't know who he plays for. He's pretty rubbish. a new manager, a new style, less dependent on sitting back now. They sort of go for it, which suits the style, suits the players they've got. A very handy attack, so it'll be interesting to see. And their pace up front maybe balanced by a slightly less paced back line. That's the only problem they've got. Not the greatest defending, but certainly going up, they look good. South Korea for them. All credit to them. This is their 10th World Cup on the trot. All right, they qualified by being the host ones, but they've not shown the greatest form in the lead up to this. But they did qualify from a relatively simple group. Of course, Son is the key man, but his attempts, he always tries to take a bit too much on for me in these, and they don't seem to get quite utilised him properly in these games. And rather than make some of the other guys take responsibility, I think Son tries far too hard half the time. But hopefully, you never know. Perhaps some other guys will step up as well. So you've got to all be careful of him, of course. So that'll be an interesting game. Let's see how Son goes on. Group H then at the 4 p.m. kickoff, we've got Portugal 15-1, one of the favourites, against Ghana 550-1. Of course, we're looking forward to this. We've got Cancelo, Bernardo and Diaz all hopefully starting in this one. Stadium 974 with the old containers in Ras Abu Aboud, Doha. This is on ITV and STV. Of course, Portugal, Euro glory in 2016 seems a long time ago now. There's no doubt their wealth of talent have underperformed recently, just scraping through to this World Cup finals through the playoffs. Ronaldo, of course, that horrible man who left that nice Manchester United recently, remains their catalyst. And I don't know how it's affecting team morale over there with his recent club outbursts. Obviously, we saw little things in training with Cancelo and obviously his mucker at United as well. But they do need to knuckle down and play as a team and perhaps not rely too much on Ronaldo, but on the basis that Ronaldo wants everything to go through him, that's going to be very difficult. It's going to be easier said than done, of course. Hand responsibility over to Bernardo, I say, and who knows what might happen. Ghana, well, great things are expected from Kudus of Ajax. He's only 22, though, so he can't do it on his own, can he? But others will have to play a big part. Like chalk and cheese, Ghana can play some great stuff, play really well at times, and other times not so great. Very inconsistent. But I think this will be a stern test for Belgium, despite the outsider status. I think Ghana will give them a go. Watch it end up 7-0 or something. But I think these are the least fancied of the African teams as well. But you never know. Ghana could prove troublesome. And the last game on Thursday is, of course, with the favourites, the 3-1 favourites, as I'm recording this, Brazil in Group G, who take on Serbia 100-1. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff. Ederson, of course, doubt will start in this unless something's happened to Alisson. I think Alisson will play this. This is in the Lusail Stadium in Lusail. This is on the BBC and iPlayer. Brazil, the favourites of all the teams in the World Cup, possibly come the closest to me of, all right, you've got Spain, perhaps, to a style of pep ball. And they got some good, young, fast legs in there, giving it a little bit of fizz as well, perhaps a bit more fizz than we're managing just at the moment with our pace. The skill is getting all these great players to gel, and this might just be their time again. Although, having just watched Spain, perhaps they're thinking the same. Serbia, these qualified ahead of Portugal, yes, in the previous match we talked about. And their midfield and attack is very, very impressive, Serbia. But defensively, they're not the best. So their attacking philosophy probably comes in handy because they're not great defending. And it's no surprise they do that. And I think this should be, again, like the Belgium game, I think this should be a great game to end the first phase of this World Cup. And we'll have a look at how the groups are standing, etc., etc. So there you go. And we'll be next talking about match day 2, of course, as we start to get the second round of games. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the matches you've been watching. I'm trying to get to watch most of them. Some of them are on in the background, keeping a little watching. I have to do other things as well. We can't all just sit there with the cans of beers drinking from 10 in the morning. It'd be nice, but we can't. Simple as that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please leave us your comments. Let me know who you fancy to win. Let me know, please, who you fancy to win the World Cup. Now you've almost seen them all. Although it'll be better after tomorrow when we've seen the last batch, won't it? Thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again. That's one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.